We've taken 4 offensive linemen this year, a quarterback, a running back, 2 wide receivers, a slash guy that can play wide receiver, defensive back, 5 additional defensive backs, 4 linebackers, 4 defensive linemen. Really, I think a lot of people point towards us as being a top 20 recruiting class. In many cases, I saw the numbers thrown around, but the numbers really mean nothing. As I was walking in today, I was talking to one of our women's basketball players and told her it was signing day today, and she said, "Hey, good luck. You know, it's very exciting." And I said, "Now the real work starts. Huh? Now they have to just start to really define themselves," and that is so true in everything that we're talking about here. We've got guys from Texas, Arizona, Michigan certainly, Ohio, Virginia, Florida, Illinois, Utah. So we have more of a national brand, I think, this year maybe than we have in the past. So because of our winning, because of what's gone on, I think, nationally in terms of what we've been able to do, we've been able to capitalize on that in recruiting and build a base, not just as a football team in the Midwest and the Big Ten, but a little bit more of a national base in terms of what we've done. Florida would be included in that as well, as we got a guy from Florida as always. With that, I'll just talk about each young man as we go forward here and sort of go from there and then answer questions as we go because we do have a number of guys. So we'll start with our running back. One running back that we did take, L.J. Scott, is an outstanding player, never wavered throughout the process. It doesn't take long when you put on the film to see that L.J. Scott is a guy that will be able to play in the Big Ten and carry the load. He's used to carrying it. He's about 9,000 yards in his time there. He was the Player of the Year 2 years in a row in his division in Ohio at Hubbard High School, which is the same high school that Kurtis Drummond came from. But the main thing that I'll remember, I mean, great vision, great cutting ability, big physical, you know, 225 pounds, 6'1", can go the distance, has everything. Played in the All-Star game out in California, the Fidelis All-Star game. But the most noticeable thing that I got is he stayed the course. And when he gave us his commitment, I think it was in July, he maintained that commitment throughout the entire process and never wavered. When there were a lot of people that were trying to knock on the door, he never wavered once. And I think that speaks to the credibility of not only him, but credibility of our entire class. We don't lose many committed guys. We never have. In this day and age, if you make a commitment here, it's okay. I know in the early process how things go, but if you make a solid commitment here, the tendency is for our players to stay with those commitments. And very, very proud of that fact because that speaks to the relationships that have been developed, not just among our players, among each other, but with our host player and with our coaches in general. But LJ will be an outstanding player. He has the capability to play next year. I believe that. Usually running back is one of the first places you can play as a true freshman. Reminds me very, very much of Le'Veon Bell. Certainly much more highly recruited than Le'Veon, and you know where Le'Veon's at right now. But he'll have an outstanding career here. Our quarterback that we took, Brian Lewerke, committed April 19th of last year, was one of our first commits. Again, another guy that was one of the best players in the West, another top 300 guy. Guy threw for 5,500 yards in his career there. Outstanding leader. Reminds me a lot of Kirk Cousins in the way that he handles himself, the way he goes about his business. Creates with his feet as well as with his arm. Was in camp here and threw the ball very, very well with efficiency and a lot of snap. Delivery was very, very good and has the opportunity to work out and see NFL guys every day. When I was out there, I went to the guys that were working out at his high school, you know, Colin Kaepernick, some of these other guys. So he has coaches that have developed him to a high level, and I think that he will be an outstanding quarterback for us. Excellent student as well, and again, he's maintained that composure and commitment in a leadership position as he sort of has endured all the different people coming at him as well. So. Outstanding player for us. Let's start with their offensive line, Kiante Stallworth. Many view Kiante as the #1 player in the state of Michigan. Guy who's committed a long time ago, probably last spring. Said that he wanted to play for us as a sophomore, has maintained that approach throughout. had an opportunity to watch him practice. Very quick-bodied, very explosive player. You watch him on film, you know, as a defensive player, he's very, very good there as well. But I really think that he's an offensive player. He can get out and pull. He can play a lot of different positions for us. He's athletic enough to play tackle, powerful enough to go inside. But a guy that, again, another nationally recruited young man, another top 300 guy in the country, and, you know, all the things that you want in an offensive lineman he possesses. Saw him at the Sound Mind and Body Camp last year, as well as in our camps previously, and just was dominant, was a dominant performer in that area. Noah Listerman, big, very big offensive lineman, goes about 6'7", 6'6", very athletic, hasn't been playing football all that long, plays 5 different music instruments, so we're bringing a band here. But, you know, he is an outstanding young man, very, very big upside, athletic, and gets on people. And when you're that big and you get on people, good things tend to happen for us. So we're looking forward to him coming from Winton Woods High School. Harlan Barnett was his recruiter. Mark Staten and Jim Bowman obviously very much involved in that recruiting process as well. But Noah will be an outstanding player here, as with most offensive linemen, probably redshirting the first year, but I think he has a tremendous upside for us. Highly recruited guy as well. Tyler Higbee from Houston, Texas, was the player of the year, outstanding lineman of the year in Houston, private school, and comes from an outstanding school, Kincaid High School. Basketball player, has relatives up here in Michigan. I think that was the attraction. Committed early in the process as well, probably sometime here, I believe sometime here this fall, early fall. I can't keep everybody straight up here, but very athletic and big. Another big guy that will pay dividends down the road in terms of what he'll be able to do. But everywhere you go in that high school, or that school really, because it goes from age 4 on up, the people that talk about him and the things that are said about him as an individual are very, very far-reaching. Tremendous. He will be an outstanding person here, an outstanding player here at Michigan State, and a guy that was highly recruited by many, many schools throughout the Southwest and Southeast as well. Cole Chewins from Clarkson High School is a young man with great growth potential, 6'6" or 7", much like Jack Conklin when he came in. Very athletic, played defensive end, can really run, has good strength, upper body strength. Plays basketball, 2-time state champion on their football team as well. And again, another young man, when you go in that high school, what people say about him on an everyday basis as a leader and as a doer are things that, that are extremely impressive to you as a coach as you move through the process there. So he will be an outstanding player for us as well. Was the defensive MVP on their team. Going to the wide receivers, Felton Davis from Virginia, top 300 guy as well. Big, tall, 6'4" guy. Track athlete, decathlete, really almost like a decathlete. Runs so many different events. Was recruited sort of as a decathlete by some institutions. Big, rangy, great ball skills. Been committed since early in the, I think maybe sometime last summer. Again, I can't remember this, but it's been committed for a long period of time and has never wavered as well. Outstanding high school, Ron Burton's high school, so you know it's got to be outstanding. And but I think the relationship's been strong there ever since he's come on campus, and he was up here a number of times for games and throughout the summer. So, guy that I think will find his way. We lose 5 wide receivers next year, and I think he'll find his way onto the field very, very quickly. So, can be a dominant player for us. Goes up and gets the football. Darrell Stewart's a guy that plays multiple positions. We'll recruit him as a wide receiver, but he's played quarterback. He's played defensive back and also wide receiver. Great catching ability. One of the better players in the Houston area. Nimitz High School, which is Coach Samuel's high school, and again, he's very proud of that as well, bringing up a young man from that particular high school where he's from. So have an opportunity to play for Coach Samuel's, and that'll be outstanding for him. So track guy and very, very athletic. David Dow is a guy that we recruited as a slash guy from St. Ed's High School, state champions, another top 300 guy. And David has the ability to play corner, and we will lean towards defensive back when he comes in here, with the idea that if he has to go over and play wide receiver, he has the ability. He'll start at corner, may transition to that field safety, which is very much like Kurtis Drummond, but he's got great leaping ability, great ball skills. He's big, he tackles, and he's from a tremendous high school in Lakewood St. Ed's, and very well coached. They play our defense there, which gives him a tremendous upside for us, so he should not miss a beat in terms of installation and things of that nature. And we look for him to possibly get on the field very, very early in his career. When you go to the defensive backs, and he would be considered one, or sort of a slash guy, Grayson Miller from Kentucky. Grayson came here in camp and earned the scholarship. He's about 6'2", 195 pounds, ran 4.4 2 different times in camp, long jump 10 foot plus, vertical 35 inches, with great ball skills, and you just had a feeling like somebody was missing something. So we offered him a scholarship. His father, John Miller, played here. He's a tremendous hitter, great ball skills, plays all over the place at his high school, another state champion high school, and down at Scott County. Was hurt in the first game of his senior year, committed early in the process at camp actually, and has maintained that commitment throughout. But outstanding student, another guy when you go into the high school. I mean, I just believe you win with people. I guess that's the message here. You win with people. At some point in time, you find out the truth about people as you move through the process, and they either add to your chemistry or they subtract from your chemistry. In this case, I think all of our guys are adding to this chemistry, and Grayson Miller is no question that he does that as well. But he's big enough to go in and play star as he puts on weight, but I think he's athletic enough to step out there and play that front side safety. During camp, he had the opportunity to work against some excellent athletes and was very, very good in coverage. Qari Willis from Jackson Lumen Christi, another young man who committed early in the process. Dual player. He is a running back, safety type player. We're going to recruit him at safety, play him at safety. Reminds me very much of Isaiah Lewis in the way he moves and the toughness factor. Isaiah was an outstanding running back as well, but he's going to show up quick on the football field. He's a no-nonsense type of guy. He backed Coach Barnett right up underneath the basket and blew out his Achilles. Okay, so he's responsible for that right from the get-go. But tough-minded. He's a basketball recruit as well. If he decides that he would want to do that, he would have my blessing to be able to do that. Our basketball coaches know who he is. He can come right down the middle of the court, down the lane, and slam it. And an outstanding football player as well, but very, very excited about him. He goes about 200 pounds, and it's all toughness. And he's a no-nonsense type of guy, excellent student, and I think he will be a quick performer for us. At corner, other than David Dow, Tyson Smith from Orchard Lake St. Mary's reminds me of Ronaldo Hill, who I coached here back in the 90s. Very smooth, very athletic. We used to talk about Ronaldo being the truth. Very, very aware as a football player. Great ball skills. He's been in our camp in the last couple years. He's a nephew of Bobby Williams, good friend of mine. And I just can't say enough about him. Again, another young man who was on a state championship football team, another young man who's in the top 300 prospects. That's a very general term, I think, that's thrown out there, but with that comes all kinds of different recognitions. Plays baseball, runs track, playing an all-star game right now as we speak. Khalil Gaines is the one young man who reminds me of Keyshawn Martin. Electric, plays quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back from Frostproof, Florida. Guy that runs track, plays basketball, all over the place. Tough-minded athlete and very highly recruited young man, and another top player, I think, in the country. And he's the one player that we took out of Florida this year, but really has the ability to run and make plays. Great young man, and was up here on a visit this fall camp. Josh Butler's from Dallas. Josh took a bus up here during summer, basically because we established that, I guess, that reputation is putting out top defensive backs. And I guess you could say that's accurate with, you know, Trey Waynes being a probable, I would say it's a probable first-round pick this year, and Duquez Denard last year. So we've got 2 first-round corners, if you're listening out there, that have graduated from here and have played through 3 and 4 years here. But Josh Butler is that kind of guy. He's in the top 250 prospects in the nation. Very highly recruited guy, very well-coached guy, much like Tyson Smith, very smooth. Has played safety this year, was hurt after the first 5 games, so he didn't finish the season, but played corner as a true freshman. But as a but as a junior, he played corner for them. I'm almost going there. Okay, but outstanding football player, very well coached, excellent kick returner, punt returner, and as I said, took the bus up 2 days riding to get here and experience Michigan State, and made that decision early in the process among I think he had about 50 scholarship offers. So Andrew Dow, one of the twins from St. Ed's, played safety in their secondary, was a running back the year before, really concentrated on defense. Again, a state champion. Doesn't take long to put on the film of his senior film to see that he can play. And decided on that really very quickly after seeing the film. Makes plays in space, great ball skills. Will play at outside linebacker, the star position for us, goes about 215 pounds. Very active basketball player. Both he and his brother from a very disciplined high school. State champions, play the highest, probably the highest competition in the state of Ohio. Very excited, another number 300 ranked prospect or whatever. I think he's 197 to be exactly. I'm not quite sure. Either I got to write bigger or get glasses pretty soon. Tyreke Thompson is over here in the house. Tyreke is an outstanding linebacker from ML King High School. Excellent student as well. Made the decision to come here early in the process and is enrolled now and will be here for interviews after. Started his first winter workout yesterday, so he can speak to that, speaking to the difference in terms of being recruited and being there. But again, another young man that I just think had in his mind he wanted to be at Michigan State because of the people and the chemistry. But with the opportunity to be here at this point in time, we'll have the opportunity to get on the field very, very quickly. So very, very exciting to have him here, and he's in the audience today. But another guy who was in the top 300 in the nation, and a guy that was generally considered number 2 or 3 or 4 in the state of Michigan as a top prospect. So a very highly recruited young man, had opportunities to go all over the place. Drake Martinez, play him at a linebacker as well, about 6'2" now or so, 215 pounds. Runs very effectively. They say he's the number 3 or 4 JUCO outside backer in the country. What Drake has done since we recruited him earlier in the process, he's electric. He can run, he can tackle, he can catch the football. He's an athlete in all respects. He could wind up playing at any position. Because of the JC transfer rule right now, he will graduate because he came from the Big Ten. Right now, the fact will be that he may have to sit out. We will go on a public, what do they call that? You go out in public and try and just stimulate things. A public outcry, I guess, to try and get him to have 3 for 3 left. Every other conference in this country does that. There's no reason the Big Ten Conference should not be doing that as well. He spends a year at a junior college. I think that he should have the opportunity to go sit and play, go play wherever he wants to go play and not have to sit out a year when he is eligible. So we'll look to be able to do that, but that's on the back end of things right now. He'll have to sit 1 year and play 2. He made the decision to come, even though he had the opportunity to go elsewhere in the Pac-12 and be able to play 3 for 3. Another statement towards what's going on here and what's going on with the people here, the chemistry here, the culture here, and the direction that this program is going. And I think that's, again, I think those are the things to me that speak volumes about this football program right now. You win because of things like that. You win because of the chemistry and the culture. Kenny Willikins is a young man that will come here from North Point Christian. Outstanding football player. We'll look for him to join us in fall. big, physical, plays Mike linebacker, plays on offense as well, and I think he's got a tremendous upside for us. Very, very active football player, outstanding student as well. Getting close. Raekwon Williams, defensive lineman. Raekwon's a guy that, another guy probably had 50-plus offers, top 300 player, 6'3", 4, 5. I guess he's 6'5", 280 pounds. Very athletic on the basketball floor and then on the football field as well. Has not been playing football all that long. Extremely powerful and you know, athletic is the word that you use. I mean, I guess you look at him as a larger Lawrence Thomas as we recruited LT, but he will be a fixture here. And you know, when you are around Raekwon, when you're around Ray, he just makes everybody better around him in terms of what he does, in terms of the intangibles, the way he brings forth effort from people, and then just the way he works. When I saw him working on his basketball court, and they have an outstanding basketball team up at DePaul Catholic, the way he handled himself with his coach, the way he worked at it, you know, was very, very impressive. He did beat me in pig, okay? Cassius Pete, it's a late ad here, made the decision today. Big-time player, came down to obviously some very, very big programs throughout this country. Very active player, shows power, plays on a basketball team as well. Corona is an outstanding basketball team. I think they may be undefeated. Maybe they've lost one game, I believe, to a team from Connecticut. But this will be the third time maybe that they have an opportunity to win the state championship if they can roll through the playoffs. But a big-bodied, power forward type guy, very, very athletic, shows a lot of power in everything he does, plays with a great effort, and a guy that I think that can get on the field very, very early for us at defensive end. Another top 300 prospect. His dad actually played with Coach Rochar, and also played with Coach Burton in the NFL. So there were some relationships built along the way. Brad Salem was his recruiter, and you know, he just got that feeling as we went through the process. So very, very excited about him joining us today as a committed player for us, and he's signed, sealed. Justice Alexander, big defensive end from Dordogne, Ohio. And Justice is a guy that came to camp. He's about 6'4 plus, 235 pounds, long jump 10.3, vertical jump 35 inches, you know, runs in the 4.7 area, has a huge upside. Has not been playing football that long, so this year he had 10 sacks through his first 10 games, and then they went to the playoffs. They went all the way to the final game in the playoffs in the state of Ohio, and at that point in time he had 22 sacks. So he had 12 sacks in the 4 playoff games, so got better and better and better as the season progressed, and he is a true diamond in the rough. Very, very athletic, can really run, and you know, we'll have an opportunity to be coached here with our defensive line. Let's see here, Mufi Hunt. Here's our last guy, I believe. And Mufi is a little bit different situation. He committed today from another, had opportunities to go throughout the areas in the West out there from Utah. Came on a visit a couple weeks ago. And he will go on his mission, first of all, for a 2-year mission before coming here. I guess it would be in 2017. And again, I think that speaks volumes about what's going on here in terms of our culture. He is an outstanding football player, big-bodied, tremendous acceleration. He will be mature when he comes back from his mission. And I believe that God sent him on a mission to do some great things in his life initially. And when he comes back, as he said, he will join his Spartan brothers. His Spartan brothers will be waiting here when he comes back. And that completes our class. So